Hello there. Today I'm finishing up my look at some Patagonian wines we've been tasting here, and this is the Rugientes 45 Merlot from 2019 from Bodega Otronia. Now Bodega Otronia is right at the sort of the southern end of Argentina's viticulture, a place called Sarmiento, Churbut, on the shores of Lake Musters. And here, billionaire Alejandro Bulgheroni planted 50 hectares of what are organic vineyards, and he planted a variety of different grape types. So we have Chardonnay, Gewurztraminer, Pinot Gris, Torrontes, Pinot Noir, Merlot and Malbec. So this is off block 22, which is a single hectare of Merlot. A combination of soils. There's some calcareous soil here, and there's also some clay from a former lagoon on the site. So you have heavier and lighter soils, certainly. The winemaker here, Juan Pablo Murgia, has had great success in being recognised by the critics. So in 2021, Tim Atkin, in his South American report, named him as the Young Winemaker of the Year. And then the following year, in 2022, Patricio Tapia, the noted South American critic, labelled him as the winemaker of the year. So 2 years of real success there. The vineyards here are entirely farmed and are certified as being organic, and the conditions here favour that. There's almost a continuous wind, which leaves the place very cool, but also means there's almost no humidity whatsoever. And there are two things involved in that, and that means there's almost no fungal infection whatsoever in the vineyards. But it also means that irrigation is required to grow grapes here, hence the need to be next to the lake. The vineyards here are 258 metres above sea level. So this wine's 100% Merlot, no other varieties go into it whatsoever. It's entirely hand-picked, as I say, it's a single hectare block. So it was all picked on one day, on the 1st of April 2019. Fermentation took place in concrete tanks, and maceration lasted 17 days. There's no information in the notes I've got that suggest whether that was punched down, pumped over, whether rack or return was used, or what was done to try and promote extraction. Fermentation, however, was initiated entirely spontaneously by those yeasts that had found their way into the winery on the fruit. So it was completely indigenous fermentation. At the end of fermentation, the wine aged in large 500 litre French oak foudre. These were completely untoasted, so to try and give so they're quite large anyway, and to try and give quite a gentle oak influence. And that aging went on for 20 months. So really more a question of softening through a certain amount of air getting into the wine and marrying the components in the wine, rather than necessarily giving it oak flavours or structure or anything like that. So let's have a look at this, shall we? First of all, I mean, looking at it, it's a relatively dark ruby red. The colour has some vivacity. It's not particularly deep. I can see straight through it. As I'm swirling it, the wine is 13.7% in alcohol, and certainly it's clinging to the glass. It's forming tears very readily. So let's have a look at the aroma, shall we? Those are a very attractive, high-toned, plummy note. Behind that, a certain elegant, fresh leafiness. There's a lovely freshness to those aromas, in fact. And quite a sort of a lifted, almost a sort of red cherry note, but it's a clean, fresh plumminess in general, which is normally a sign for Merlot. So let's have a taste. It's a very fresh, elegant, medium, maybe medium to full-bodied wine, but good acidity. As I say, there's slight leafy touches, just adding a bit of lift, adding some high-tone notes, but it's still that sort of quite velvety, plush, plummy red fruit notes running throughout the whole thing. There really is a lovely, lovely freshness to that. Good structure. It's not particularly drying or astringent, but there's a nice finesse and there's a certain firmness to the mid-palate. There's not a massive concentration. It is still this sort of lifted, elegant red fruit that runs throughout the whole wine. There's nice length. the delicate, relatively perfumed red fruit is supported by nice freshness on the finish and is lasting really well. The alcohol seems in balance. It's adding a bit of warmth, I suppose, to the mid palate. That's a nicely balanced, elegant wine. I would say that that would probably age for another 5 or 6 years, possibly 10. It has that freshness, it has that structure. It's a nicely put together wine. So, thank you very much for joining us. I've found looking at these wines from Patagonia a really interesting experience. I hope you've enjoyed it too. If you have, do please press the like button. If you've got friends who you think might be interested, do share the video with them. That would be fantastic. Do consider signing up and following us on YouTube. It would be great to have your support. If you have any feedback or any comments, please leave them in the comments box below. We would really like to know what you think about what we're doing here in terms of the tastings, the wine we're looking at, or anything else related to that. Most importantly, however, do please try and make the time to come and join us for another tasting in the very near future, won't you? Goodbye for now.